So, Jason, how's your mom doing?
In the years that I've known you, you have never asked about my mom.
Well, I'm asking now, how is she? Has she hit menopause yet?
My mom's dead, Fundy.
No, sorry. Was it sudden?
It was 3 years ago. Remember that month that I was gone taking care of her estate?
Oh, yeah. Well, do you have a sister or a cousin or maybe a youthful aunt?
I suddenly don't want to tell you.
Fine. Do any of you jerks know any women?
Why?
Oh, no big reason. I just want to rent out their womb and one of their eggs, maybe.
I know lots of women, but because I care about them, I will not tell you who they are.
Oh, come on. I'm getting me and Raul's ducks in a row for what happens after we're married, and the baby duck is not cooperating.
So you're shopping for a baby, Mama?
Yeah, we tried Raul's family, but when I suggested that one of them bear my seed, they made the sign of the cross at me and ran away.
Well, what about your family?
Gammy Yum Yum had menopause back in the Dark Ages. My mom said no. So, that's it. We are all out of broodmares. So, how about you guys? Can we use yours to bear the next generation of Fundy monsters?
As tempting as that sounds, I just have to remind you that it's not my permission to give. If you want ass sass, be my guest. I just hope you have medical coverage.
Autumnal says that her womb space is off limits because she's housing the spirits of some displaced Icelandic elves in there.
You know, it's hard to know which of you is weirder, you or Autumnal.
Dang it. I wonder if there are any homeless girls hanging around Opinion-Ville who wouldn't mind 9 months of food and shelter.
Even if there were, I wouldn't tell you. Why do you need to have a surrogate mother anyway? Why not adopt?
Adopt? Ha! Why adopt when with a few thousand well-spent dollars you can have the real thing?
Adopted children are just as real as biological children.
Yeah, right. God has given me a biological imperative to spread my genes all over the place, and that's what I intend to do.
If God wanted you to spread your genes, then why did he make you gay? Wouldn't it have been easier if you were straight?
Probably, but since when has God ever made anything easy? All I know is that no matter how many times I try to impregnate Raul with my love goo, he will never have my baby. Especially where I put it.
Okay, give me a minute to erase some image from my head. Okay, done. But adoption is a viable option. There are plenty of children in the world that need loving families. If anything, adopting a child is more special because you choose the child. With all of that chromosome play, you never know what you'll wind up with.
Yeah, you could wind up with a psychopath for a kid. Which, for you, is a distinct possibility.
Blah, blah, blah. I've heard all this before from Raul. Well, you can all go hang. Blood is what matters, and no matter what you say, I just don't think I could love a child that isn't biologically my own.
Then you're an asshole. That's a little judgy. Then I'm a judge. Judge Jason. And the court is in session, and I decree that the people who can't bring themselves to love a child that doesn't carry their genetic silly string are assholes.
No, we're not. I just want to have a child that looks like me and thinks like me. A smaller version of myself for me to pour my special sauce of religious conservancy into.
Most people want to have children that are biologically their own, Jason. It's kind of an instinct. Are they wrong?
Considering the number of children who need good homes, sure. They shouldn't be spurting out newborns. They should be taking care of the ones that are already here. The world population is exploding, everybody. We should tie off our nutsacks and start adopting before it's too late.
Snore. I've heard that overpopulation stuff before, and I don't care. The world's population isn't my problem. I have a God-given right to bear my own fruit.
Just because you have the right to do it doesn't mean you should.
But it's normal for people to want to bear children. It's deep down in the bones. Because you would choose not to have a biological kids of your own doesn't mean that you're right.
Yeah, how many kids have you adopted, Mr. Think Globally?
Well, none. But if I do, I will love them as if they came from my own vagina.
Great, now I have to erase that image from my head.
But what if they grow up and want to find their biological parents?
Then I'd let them.
But they could like their biological parents more and leave you. There's just too many emotional risks to adoption. When you have a biological child, they are stuck with you whether they like it or not, like a legal slave.
Emotional risk is the name of the game when it comes to any kind of parenthood. Your kid could grow up to become, I don't know, fall into crime. They could become a Nazi. They could become an atheist.
Not my kid. I'd kill him first.
Jason, you're never going to convince people to stop having babies and adopt instead.
Why not? Look at all the money that's spent on infertility treatment in this country. Millions upon millions of dollars. Adoption is the more affordable and compassionate alternative.
Not everyone can adopt kids in this country. They are very selective as to who gets to adopt.
Yeah, I never understood that. Any dipstick who can put a peg in a hole can squirt out a kid, but in order to adopt one, you have to jump through hoops for years and years.
It seems unfair, but I'm sure it's for the benefit of the kids. What is it with you today, Jason? You're usually not this mule-headed.
Raul couldn't get any other cast members this week to be closed-minded, so I'm getting paid extra to do it. Hey, I'm closed-minded every week and I don't get paid extra.
What do you guys think?
Should people who face challenges in having a baby consider adoption instead of reproductive therapy?
Or should people be allowed to make whatever decision they feel is right for themselves? Whether that's adoption or treatment or whatever. And are you a woman between the ages of 18 and 25 who wouldn't mind being inseminated by a handsome monster? Then leave your info down below. I'll be discreet. Okay, that's enough. Stop trolling our viewers for womb space. So, seriously, you aren't all that high and mighty about adoption? Meh, I think it's a noble and wonderful thing to do, but I understand that people want babies that carry their gene code. Me and Sass will probably adopt if we ever decide to have a kid. So, if your girlfriend Sass isn't planning on using her girl junk for what God intended... Please don't finish that sentence. Hello, my fellow Opinion Villagers. Today is Friday, February 14th, and it's Ferris Wheel Day, Frederick Douglass Day, Pet Theft Awareness Day, Library Lovers Day, National Have a Heart Day, National Condom Day, World Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Day, League of Women's Voters Day, National Women's Heart Day, Race Relations Day, Singles Awareness Day, or also known as Singles Appreciation Day, National Donor Day, Quirky Alone Day, World Marriage Day, and Valentine's Day. Or as I like to put it, Valentine's Day and 13 fake holidays. Well, except for Frederick Douglass Day. That should actually be the actual holiday we celebrate today. Oh, and Library Day, you should probably look across the street at the Barnes & Noble. You know, the closed one? The one that's being turned into a sporting goods store? That's your future, buddy. Enough of this, on with the questions. First up, the Amazing Flying Atheist asks, question for Oswald and Sensi. Do you like that I keep asking you questions?
No, it's okay. You remind me of this one guy who'd always be at the bus stop whenever I was gonna take the bus, and he would always be talking and asking me questions until one day he asked me for a pair of my underwears, and then I told my mom, and then after that he wasn't at the bus stop anymore.
My mom says that too much attention from a grown-up that's not related to you is not the good kind of attention.
Wes Rhodes asks, intimate question for Sass. What do you think of the allegations that Jason is dating you because you look like Fundy Monster?
Look, there is a lot wrong with my power Amour's brains, but Jason is dating me because he loves me, and because he has no other choice. As for my supposed similarity to Funny Monster, I only have to say that yes, we have a number of features in common, but I am far more attractive. It's not like we're twins or anything. I have a twin. I don't know him. We were separated at birth, and I was raised by an adoptive family, and I have no idea what happened to my brother. Wait a minute!
Yoshi Green asks, intimate question for Puppet Jason. If you could brainwash Fundy Monster into not believing in a god, would you? Or would the morality of it just make it wrong? Let's see. Is it immoral to brainwash Fundy Monster into not believing in God anymore? I'm sorry, I was just kind of lost in a daydream there. Yes, it is wrong. No matter how much we would love to be able to brainwash Fundy Monster or Pat Robertson or any of the other nitwits that seem to populate this planet, it's still wrong. Believe me, if they had the power to brainwash us, they wouldn't hesitate to do it. We have to be better than they are. TamC1337 asks, intimate question. Meet Jason. I'd like to buy you a drink. What's your beer/spirit? I don't really have one anymore ever since I became a diabetic. Drinking's out. And even before I became a diabetic, I wasn't much of a drinker. I never really developed a taste for beer or wine, per se. And the thing that I probably drank more often than anything else, and usually around Christmas time, were White Russians, or the occasional grasshopper, and maybe a margarita. I liked a margarita every once in a while. Basically, if it was sweet and foo-foo and had an umbrella in it, I probably liked it. Oh, and strawberry daiquiris. I was making strawberry daiquiris there for a while. During the summertime, I really like strawberry daiquiris. I drank more than I thought. The Astrobleem asks, intimate question for Sensei.
Yay! Someone finally asked me something that I can answer.
Okay, enough of that robot porn. That's it this time around, you giddy young lovers and jaded old cellmates. Until next time, this has been Jason with a D.
Hey, Jason.
What?
Who was Saint Valentine, and why does he all the time have naked babies with wings shooting bows and arrows and stuff?
Because Christians can't help but get their paganism mixed up with their Christianity.
What?
Nothing. Look, nobody really knows for sure who Valentine was or if he actually existed. All they know is that he died on February 14th.
So Valentine's Day is to celebrate this guy dying?
Yep.
That is gross. How did he die?
After the shoutouts.
What?
Oswald.
Okay. Hey everybody, let's do the shoutouts quick so I can hear this gross stories guy about him dying and stuff. Hello, TamC1337. According to my internet dictionary from like 10 years ago, your name is very clever. Hellbond. It's what Satan uses to fix things, like when his big fork breaks and stuff. Why does he have a big fork? Does he eat like a whole lot of food and he needs a great big fork to put it in his big old mouth? El Flamingo. Are you a Spanish jewel thief called the Flamingo? El Nerdo Loco. Are you the superhero who's gonna stop El Flamingo? Football Unleashed. So when football is unleashed, it becomes a YouTube subscriber? Bear Thou. Half bear, half pig. I think you belong in my nightmares. Vote for Jello DK. I'm not allowed to vote ever since I voted 23 times for Starscream from the Transformers for mayor. The key. The key to what? I hope it's not the key to my house. I'm not even allowed to have a key to my house. My Rosie Zookeeper. You have the bestest job in the world. It's good to know that you're still Rosie despite all the animal suffering you must see every day. Question the answer. But if I question the answer, then will I have to question the answer that I get from that answer? And then I've got to question that answer, and then that answer too, because I'm always questioning an answer. So if I'm questioning an answer all the time, it just, how dare you put me in a Mobius loop? Okay, that's it. Remember to tell Jason with a D if you subbed and you did not get a shouty pouty. Okay, how did he die? Was it cool, like he got attacked by a dragon, or maybe like a troll, or maybe he like a school bus fell on him or something?
No, he was beaten to death with clubs and then beheaded.
By dragons?
No, by Romans.
Darn.
Oh, hello! Are you bored with your normal YouTube experience? Then why don't you subscribe to Opinion-Ville? Every week we have, well, somewhat humorous videos with puppets and monsters and a giant guy made out of meat who answers your questions, sort of. Anyway, if you like what you've seen, click on the subscribe button.
Or if you want to buy a high-quality t-shirt that wasn't made in a third-world country out of fourth-rate materials, click on the store button. Or maybe you want to see last week's episode if you're not sure about what you saw this week, and you can click on the previous episode button. Either way, it's a win-win situation.